Greetings ladies and gents, and welcome to today's Reddit Quickie video, taken from the HFY subreddit called Beyond Crimson Horizon, written by Rian Gendut. A link to the original will be down below, and as always, I hope that you enjoy. That's trippy. Overhead, the sky transitioned to a clear boundary between the blue sky and a crimson one. The white, fluffy clouds gave way to bright, blood-colored ones, hugging the jagged mountains in the distance. The soft grass suddenly cuts into the hard, rocky landscape, obsidian outcrops jutting out in place of trees, as if Armenian troops brandishing their spears. Yeah, not many things make sense in these lands. But the sun! How could the light from a single source just cleanly separate like that? What kind of magic could even divide and transform the land in such a... I don't know, so why don't you ask Severius, the Dark himself? Oh wait, I know, because he was dead. We killed him, jeez. The man in full armor beside him wiped the sweat off of his brows and took a sip from a metal bottle. I killed him, and instead of the princess and peaceful life, the damn king gave me an escort quest as a reward. Sorry. No, sorry, it's not your fault. It's the king's fault. It's just... I trained and studied my whole life. I dedicated my very being to killing Severius, in a hope that I could simply retire after with wealth and fame. But it's always the swordsman who got all the credit, even though he only cowers in fear without my magic. He took another sip. He was trudging through the hellish territory of the dead demon lord. But I am a soldier, and soldiers follow orders. I think we could rest in the cave for a bit. You marked it with a symbol for safer water source in your map. Yeah, whatever magic Severius used to transform this land also allows him to freely cast magic within it. We had to take shelter from the cats and dogs. The wizard in full armor shrugged. I guess even the demon lord has a sense of humor. That is hard to imagine. That it is. The cave was hardly an upgrade from the trek on the obsidian plain, littered with sharp flints. The acid-smelling air stagnated within the confines of a dark-walled cave. The water was surprisingly clean, but tiny bits of shards of glass like volcanic rocks splintering into the stream. That doesn't look particularly safe. The wizard laughed for the first time. Safe has a very low standards beyond the Crimson Horizon, scholar. Indeed, I attached the standard filter distributed to the guild to my water bottle before submerging it in the stream. What else have you got in your bag? The wizard turned his eyes to my admittedly massive bag compared to his. Some alchemy and measuring tools, and my wand. Right, people still use wands, but you're a scholar. Wouldn't you already know how inefficient wands are? It's more for self-defense. Most of my magic aren't useful in combat, and some that are I only ever learned with wands. Then again, you have me, so that's a non-issue anyway. The wizard stood up. Let's go. We had a camp just beyond the outermost defensive line of the castle. We could at least get some sleep there. Just a minute. I screwed back my bottle's cap, and then followed behind him. The camp was barely worth being called such. Several makeshift tents littered the site, made out of a sheet of cloth held in a triangular arrangement by some wooden sticks. A clump of hay stuffed underneath it, sticking out from another sheet of woven hemp. I mean, you haven't lied to me, but... like I said, standards are very low around here. Light sleep is the best when you're right outside the enemy's castle. Though it is no longer an enemy castle now, just an abandoned one. Do you think he still has evil spirits roaming around? Oh, some low-level apparitions and maybe even demonic monsters are definitely still around. But without a master, they shouldn't be organized enough to pose a threat. Still, the entire domain is covered in a thick magical energy, almost like it's submerged under a physical liquid. Whatever was supplying Severius with his enormous power is evidently still pouring out energy uncontrollably, flooding the entire place. I could only imagine what effect that power would do to an apparition, even low-level ones. That could explain why my curse-grounding talismans can't banish them instantly. I didn't think about that when we fought to enter the palace, and that's when Savarius is siphoning a majority of the source's power. I'll just set up some mana condensing around us. Don't worry, you have me. You could just rest. I'll maintain the barrier. Some of my sigils are still in place. We'll explore the castle tomorrow. Thanks. These monsters are no joke. A pillar of fire erupted from a magic circle emanating from the wizard's hands. The goblins on the receiving end said a pillar was only groaned in anger and pain of their charred skin, as opposed to evaporating, which tends to be the effect of spells of such magnitude. I think you could have just collected their blood, instead of painstakingly condensing your mana to form the air. Yeah, well, I knew the magic here was terrifying, but I didn't expect it to this extent. I blasted a dire wolf with a concussive spell from my wand, but it only succeeded in redirecting the wolf's claws. The wolf again prepared to attack. I aimed a shot at the obsidian pillar beside it instead. A shower of obsidian shrapnel shredded its face. We might need to install a demon lord to control these powered-up monsters. What's the worst that can happen? Am I right? It's not like Savarius tried to invade the rest of the world. The wizard took on my example and replicated his fire spells with telekinesis, shooting obsidian shards at the monsters. I'm thinking more like a mental pacification idol in place of an overriding commander. Not an actual demon lord, just a placeholder in the system. Yeah, and who knows what kind of interference this sinister magic could have on an idol. Let's just focus on purification. The castle was even larger up close, constructed from massive engraved obsidian slabs and pillars fitted so seamlessly that the entire thing looked like it was carved from a single piece of rock. We forged through the gate, fighting increasingly stronger monsters and apparitions along the way. Be prepared, those inside the castle would be even stronger. A bright magic formation filled the air, and the armor pieces made light manifested on my body. If you see me overwhelmed by the monsters, just escape. I'll follow suit after you're in a safer place. I wish that I won't have to do that, but okay. A magical shield projected from my wand. Let's open the door. The wizard pushed the gates open, and an empty throne chamber greeted us. Stay vigilant. I don't even need a compass to feel the magic radiant in here. The source is right below. I knocked on and touched the floor with my free hand. A simple sound was emanating from a tiny magic circle, vibrating through the palace. And of course the entrance would be right below the throne. I am blasting the throne, watch out. A complex circle that I recognized as an advanced form of the concussive spell appeared in the wizard's hand. I tensed my wand. I'll be okay. Go, fire. The throne was shattered into a million pieces, peppering the dark castle walls and its shards. The stairwell appeared in place, and along with a massive apparition in the shape of an orcish torso, a security measure evidently installed by Savarius to prevent anyone besides him from entering the secret chamber. I want it, don't kill it yet. I want at least a sample. I ran around the chamber, wand in hand, chisel, one mercury bottle in the other. Are you kidding me? This is why scholars are so... The apparition slammed the chandelier before the wizard finished his sentence. Oh, for God's sake! I quickly set up a siphon sigil in the corners of the chamber, modifying it slightly to only suck in the mana from the apparition. The whole time I watched the wizard purposely only used less than ideal spells against it from the corner of my eyes, distracting it rather than getting it. Clear, clear! A three-dimensional magic formation filled the room, siphoning the apparition into a tiny, etheric glass bottle, reinforced by its own mana. The bottle fell with a clear thunk. Don't ever make me do that again, or I'll shove your wand up your damn nostrils. The wizard lifted me by the collar. I understand, sir, yes. He dropped me to the floor. As long as you do. Now, let's proceed. We descended to the stairs to the underground chamber. That is a tree, right? The magical power thickened to an astronomical proportion around the object shaped like a dried oak tree. The glossy surface betrayed the obsidian structure. It was overflowing with power, It's almost suffocating. Not even original magic in the capital has this much power radiating from it. It feels like a heart, like a vein. It feels alive even. I traced my fingers along the stone tree. If Savarius was sitting on this much power all of this time, how come he hasn't taken over the world yet? Why is his domain so limited? If he utilized the full potential of this power, my group shouldn't have even been able to scratch him, much less kill him. So why didn't he? The formula in this tree is... I don't know. I don't like this. We're going to need another scholar better versed in the structure of original magic. But I suspect not even Savarius can fully control this power. If his magic is based on a diagram of original magic, as with our magic, it won't be complete with the power of this tree. This tree would reject him. Are you saying that this tree is on the level of original magic? It's another original magic. You could say it like that, yeah. A more ancient, more powerful original magic, one that Savarius spent an eternity studying, yet can't fully unravel. I narrowed my eyes. No, I don't remember much about the structure of original magic, but I think there's a high chance the original magic is created for this tree, to contain it, to contain the demonic domain that it exuded. Savarius' domain isn't his doing, he's just using what was already there. You can't be seriously considering this heresy. I am a scholar and you are a wizard. You wield the heresies as your weapon, and I seek only truth even if it is heresy. Not considering a heresy is a fatal flaw for people like you and me. But the temple, and the kingdom, and the doctrine, this can't be the true form of the world. The wizard backed away from the tree, until his back reached the cold obsidian wall. Open your eyes, wizard. Why do you think Savarius' minions could freely use magic when barely any humans could? Why his domain overflows with magic, when the dominion of man has only tiny streams of mana? You must feel it as well. Deep down, you must understand. The original magic transformed this world into the habitable one that we knew. The war against Savarius was never one of liberation, but an invasion. The magic circle of fire and destruction appeared from his outstretched hand. "Oh, you gonna strike me for saying the truth, wizard?" I pulled a talisman. Against the monster empowered by the tree, my protective talisman would be nigh useless. But against his magic, that are based on the same principle, I don't even need to spend my magical power. Listen to me. Striking me here won't change the truth. The pillar of fire rushed towards me, but my talisman dispersed it before disintegrating to ashes. It's too late now that Savarius is dead anyway. The world need not know of the temple and the kingdom lies. But if we're here, and we contain this hell that we've invaded and turned it into our home, at least we have to know the truth. I prepared a shield with my wand. A concussive spell formed on the wizard's hands. At least I have to know. You could go back and forget everything, or you could be here with me. As long as the containment holds, there is not much difference your presence would make. He dispersed his magic circle. Containing the tree means reenacting the creation mythos. It means performing the grand sorcery on the same scale as the original magic. It means that you, a human, will be trying to do what only gods have once achieved. Well, that's just the way of us wizards, isn't it? End of story.